Are we rolling? Are we back again?
We're back again.
I don't feel as high roady right now.
No?
No. No.
We were into some shit this morning.
Dude.
Sales guys.
Sales guys are tough. Sales guys are tough. I don't know. I get frustrated. Like, just anytime I hear an excuse for anything, it's hard. Anytime. I used to work for a guy, Dave McSpadden, great guy, friends to this day, right? Even years later, like even now, if he were like, hey Josh, let's go fishing, he's like, all right, be in my house at 4, right? If I were to text him, hey, running behind, he would just text me back, why? Like that's all he has to say for me to know there's no fucking excuse that I can give him.
I'm gonna use that.
Why?
Yeah.
And then they come, because but then I do it, right? I do it to some people, and they just come back, oh, this and that. My daughter's this. I had to take this. Or it's like, but why? Like, You knew when you signed up for this appointment.
It's in our core values, man.
Accountability.
Own your outcomes.
Accountability.
Yep.
First of all, I also grew up, and I've said this a billion times. If you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. If you're late, you're fired, right? But now we don't fire anybody because it's so hard to find people.
Yeah.
That's why it's such a great time to be an electrician. Like, if you know what you're doing and you're good at it, like now's the time to like capitalize on great.
Being an electrician, being a great electrician.
Yeah. I mean, we're booked out. People are constantly looking for electrical work. Like, it's the best wages I've ever seen.
Yep.
Hands down, best wages I've ever seen.
Arizona's economy is growing crazy, and they're building everywhere you look, man.
Our gas prices are higher than California's right now. Like that's how crazy Arizona is.
Let's not talk about
Anyways,
California.
Why? Excuses. Why? If you said you're going to be somewhere, why did you let anything get in the way? Oh, I woke up late. Why? My alarm didn't go off. Well, what do you mean your alarm didn't go off? Nobody's
you mean
alarm.
You didn't set your alarm?
Nobody's alarm didn't go off. Right. Like, why? Why? You take that, why, and you just multiply it by whatever they say, comes back to the reason that they exist.
Suck.
Like, they just suck. All right, what are we going to talk about today? All right, solar for summer.
Solar for summer. It's getting hot.
I say solar for winter.
It's getting hot.
You know what? I love my bills in the wintertime because they're like negative.
The science behind solar.
Take it away, Marcus. Hey, I'm a solar doctor.
Doctor. So,
I mean, a lot of people, I guess, still have questions. You know, solar still in its infancy as far as capabilities of what and where it can be. You know, for every square meter of solar, like we're at 20% efficiency. Mm-hmm. Like, so we're only tapping into 20% of what the sun can actually deliver, and we're just still at its infancy as far as solar industry in itself. So people still they don't understand exactly how it works.
I don't necessarily know. I'm not going to read that stuff, but pretty much.
No, we're just going to look at what Caleb put up here, and we might find something wrong because, you know, the internet sucks.
you pretty much got the sun.
Wait, is this one of ours? Is this something we put out there? I mean, if it is, then we rock and it's right. Then we're going to read it. Marcus, read from the page.
Read from the page.
Yeah, sorry, this just coming in from
okay.
From the...
All right.
No, you don't have to.
No. Pretty much we have solar radiance, or what the sun's giving off, that those solar panels are taking in. And from there, those solar panels create a DC energy. From that, we have to convert that energy into AC energy, which is what, you know, our homes use. The typical energy that we find that we use in our daily lives is AC, or alternating current energy. To do that, we have to put an inverter. Some systems, we use microinverters. Each one of our solar panels on the roof gets its own inverting system, its own little microinverter that does that for us. Some use string inverters.
And that takes it from DC wattage or DC voltage to AC voltage.
Yes.
Yep. Which is what your power grid is, AC voltage.
Yep. Goes some companies use string inverters, right? There's also optimizers in the
Central inverters when you talk about something bigger.
Bigger, yep.
String inverters for
On the commercial side.
Yep.
Optimizers pretty much they optimize the efficiency of a panel or a string of panels so that if you have shading or different things happen, it doesn't affect the whole entire string. It just affects
Because that's
what
what would happen before. You'd have all your panels on the roof, and they would be aligned as far as their production.
Yep.
And if one of them was shaded, it would lower the production on that one panel, but every other panel would have to drop to match that output so they could be all in series going out to the
Yeah, so
inverter.
You used to have to design solar systems so that the strings that were together all faced the same direction.
Right.
The panels that were on the
They
same
were all
string.
getting the same amount of energy.
Yep.
Because that was
close to, yep.
maximizing, right? And then if one shaded, everything would drop down to that maximum level. So it would be the lowest common denominator, set the tone for the rest of the
Yep.
system.
And technology is getting better. It's always improving. Now there's other things we have to put into place. Rapid shutdown
We
rules.
sell Cadillacs. We don't sell Kias over here. Like we're running a made in America module that's been proven for years,
Yep.
and we have microinverters. So nothing's going wrong with our systems, and they're 25-year warranties. 25 years. So look for that.
Yep.
All right, so it comes down, inverts. An inverter has to be aligned there somewhere. Typically, it hits combiner panel now, right?
Yeah, we use a combiner panel for.
So there's a disconnect method. There's a means of disconnect before it hits the solar meter.
Yeah. Yeah, in
Right.
our jurisdiction,
Correct.
It has to be. Yeah.
So we have a means of disconnect. Then we have a production meter. So this is the meter that's kind of monitoring the production of those panels.
The utilities ask us to put them in. I don't necessarily know how it is around the country. I would assume that all the utilities do something similar because
Yep.
they want to know how much energy your system is producing. So that lets them know exactly how much energy your solar system's producing. From there, it goes into your electrical panel where it feeds whatever loads you have running or helps feed
Right.
whatever loads
so
you
you'll
have running.
use that power. If you're home and the solar's on and you're using power, you're going to use that power first before you get it from the grid.
Yep. And then if you ever have any excess, if you turn off your whole house and all you have is solar, then this is the meter that the utility watches that says they need to charge you money, but you could potentially run that meter backwards if you're producing an excess of solar.
Right. And in certain districts, certain utilities pay you.
Yep.
Well, either now they pay you via credit. Some of them, right? Some of them used to just send you a check at the end of the year, or
Yeah.
like
They're getting real tricky on how they're doing their solar
well, solar's
buybacks.
Solar's
and
cutting
things.
into their business.
Yep.
Government mandates. I mean, I could imagine when the modules hit 100% efficiency, and we've got like a real good technology of batteries, we won't need them.
Yeah. Probably.
Kind of like AI. You see the Writers Guild on strike because AI is about to take their job. I'm a strong believer that AI, if you work remote, you can pretty much kiss your job goodbye. If you can work remote, like not even an AI software.
Just software.
So like I saw a software, now they were like, this software isn't AI, isn't anything. It's just programmed to do the mouse and the actions as if you were a human.
What? Really?
Yes. So they're programming software now to just move the mouse and do all the actions that you would have to do in data entry or anything.
Right. It makes sense.
It goes to this email, and it has a user. Like, so you create its own email, and it can log into Gmail, and it can download documents.
Yeah.
If you work remote, you're almost out of a job.
We're
But
getting there.
how long until they can replace us? I don't know. I think we're a little bit like
Hopefully
working with your hands.
we're a little safer. They're doing drywallers already, but
Right. So the AHJ, this is your regular utility meter. It's going to be there too. So it's going to monitor. It's going to monitor what you produced, and then what goes into the home, and then what's left over comes out here, and then it can tell how much they need to send you a bill for, vice versa.
yep.
Benefits.
Benefits.
Benefit. Cha-ching.
Cha-ching, cha-ching.
The benefit. Cha-ching. Well, never be without power, only if you have a battery backup. So let's talk about rapid shutdown. So going back, your solar system has to have rapid shutdown on the roof, or ours is built into our microinverters. And what that means is if the utility turns off, your solar stops producing. That keeps the utility safe, the line safe. If the AHJ's got somebody working back here and they shut the utility down, keeps your solar from going back and hitting them in a situation. However, never be without power. That's going to turn off unless you have something
So
like a battery.
So the solars pretty much, or the inverters, grid-tied inverters, are pretty much copying the sine wave of the current utility electrical sine. So when that gets shut off, or when it doesn't see that anymore, the electricity that it's supposed to, the solar will shut itself off as well. And like you said, that's so that the solar doesn't keep producing power and kick energy onto their lines and continue to feed energy out and potentially hurt somebody working on lines down the road.
There are a couple
or transformers or things like that.
There are a couple of systems out there that can go solar into the inverter, and then the inverter have an outlet. Like they can have that power if the sun is up.
Yep.
Not back up. They will have the ability to where you can go out there, charge your phone or something, call 911 if you needed to.
Yeah.
Maybe your fridge.
The only time that something's able to keep power on once the utility is if it has some kind of internal switch inside of it, because it has to disconnect your solar system from the grid for safety reasons, right? And it also needs a specific inverter, a specific technology
Right.
to form its own grid, a grid forming inverter, so that solar can stay on and continue to. That's what batteries do. Batteries can form a grid so that your solar can stay on with certain products anyway.
Microgrid.
Microgrid,
Right.
yeah.
Slashing your energy bills, yes. You could eliminate your energy bill.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could have a surplus where the utility's paying you, at the end of the year. You could do that. Depending on the utility, it might not be worth it because it might cost you more to kind of design. It'll cost you more in certain instances, certain circumstances, to create your own power plant that feeds back. That they won't pay for the. They won't give you the price per kilowatt hour used or whatever that you're paying to actually have the thing created and installed in your house.
Yeah. So, as an example to that, let's just assume that you're producing, from your investment in solar, you're producing energy at 7 cents a kilowatt hour. That's what it's costing you over the next 25 years, warranty period, right, to produce that energy at 7 cents.
No, until the payback period, right? Until the system's paid back. Really, it doesn't cost. It doesn't. Once you get the payback, it doesn't cost you anything to produce.
Right.
So it's just
right. You're
and
saving
the payback,
money.
right? But it's not over 25 years. The warranty is 25 years, but the payback period on your system is 6 to 10 years. So it's only costing you that for that period.
Right.
Anything after that, then you're getting.
But if you're producing extra,
Yep.
if you're producing extra energy and it costs you 7 cents to produce that energy, but the utility is only going to give you 3 cents for it,
You don't want to produce.
you don't want to produce extra.
You don't want to
energy.
produce extra. Yeah.
But if the utility is going to pay you 10 cents for it,
But then, sign me up.
yeah, all day.
Sign me up. Send me a check.
So.
And then it increases the value of your home. So there's a lot of studies, like even NREL, National Renewable Energy Laboratory, had put out studies like in California, they're increasing the value of their home. Solar is up to 9%, like in certain circumstances. So
Right.
depending on where you live, you could see a 5 to 10% increase in value. Obviously, it's perceived, right?
Yeah.
Everything is perceived.
And
Because if a client, we still have clients that are like, I don't want anything to do with solar.
yeah, 100%.
But those are the people that are fighting against AI.
More and more customers are becoming.
Just like there was ones that fighting against getting rid of the horses on the roads.
Why?
It's like
Why?
they were fighting
you ever
cars.
rode a horse?
So
Fucking
yes,
hurt your ass.
100% increases the value, right? 100% increases the value of your home.
Yeah. Yep.
Benefits.
The process. Oh, we got a couple pictures of the guys
Yeah, it looks like we're doing some layout.
doing layout. We're putting in a roof box here. We
So
use
that's the
these
junction box
easy solar roof
like those,
boxes.
yeah.
Yeah, they're nice. Pretty much goes under the shingle. Makes it's got a ridge at the top so that the water, when it rains and stuff, comes down it.
And it's underneath the modules, so it's all clean look when you're done. Like this is a great look, right?
Yep.
So they get up there, they chalk out where the system's going, they find the studs, they build into the rafter.
Yep, and this is just a little bit about the system we use. We use black on black modules. It just looks nice, right? We also use some Unirac rail cut flush with the side, so you don't have that rail sticking out.
That's the Pro Series right there. It's Pro Series.
And then we front skirt. We front skirt our installs just to make them nice looking,
Yep.
you know?
So, and then, here we go. We got coming, the system feeds through that box, comes back down into this combiner, that's also the Envoy system, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's all been done. So that's something we put in occasionally dependent. And then that goes to the meter. So this has disconnect means. Then it's got the production meter, then the service disconnect
Yep.
to kill the solar entirely. And then that goes into the main service at the house.
Yeah.
Pretty easy process. Most of your solar systems can be installed in a day, maybe two, depending on the size. The worst part of the process is the AHJs. So when you buy a solar system, we come out, we do assessment, we get all the engineering details that we need to create a detailed engineering. So the utility, the cities, they need a detailed drawing. And I don't even know, some cities are requiring engineer stamps. They want a 1-line, 3-line, all the components need to be listed, everything that you need to have a current set of drawings.
Yep. And those drawings, especially here in Arizona, can be a headache at times.
Well, it's because every single city.
Yeah, every city here in Arizona gets to choose which code book, which year code book that they want to use. And then you talk about different plan reviewers inside of those cities without processes making different decisions than the other plan reviewers inside those cities.
It's really tough to keep track of, but we keep a pretty extensive dossier of all the different things that each different. So we kind of build all of our plans for the toughest ones, for the toughest AHJ, so that all the other ones just kind of fall in line. So that process can take a couple of weeks, gathering the information, getting the engineering, but then that gets submitted to the city and the utility, typically at the same time. And then it's on them. Then we have to play the waiting game. And I mean, before COVID, it was 4 to 6 weeks, like 4 weeks minimum. Could be even longer, but like COVID made it like 12 weeks.
Yeah, we have a couple jurisdictions here that you don't have to pull a permit, right?
Right.
We have a couple. And then we have jurisdictions.
But you still have to get the utility interconnect and you still have to do the plans and
100%,
stuff.
yeah. And then we have a couple jurisdictions that aren't going to even look at your submission for 60 days.
Yep.
It's
tough.
up and down.
We heard recently, like, people talk about hiring for price, but now people are looking at hiring for process, right? Like who can get it done the fast. But most of us are sitting on the same waiting game, right?
Yep.
Like we're just waiting for utilities to keep up. So once we get the permit in hand and the approval from the utility, then we can install. Once we install, we get the city to come out. Typically, they can inspect the next day.
Yep.
Get a green tag, which will have a green tag sitting and then it goes back to the utility to wait again.
Yes.
And then it's just waiting and waiting and waiting for them to come out and make sure everything's good. And then it's another waiting game for them to set the meter.
The utility wants to take their sweet time because you're about to take away some of their business by producing your own electricity. So,
I mean, I guess I would feel the same way. I don't know what I'd feel like. Maybe I'd be like
right.
trying to get into the solar business, which they tried to as well. Check us out online. IamRedline.com.
Let us know if you have any questions.
I am Redline.
IamRedline.com. Statutes and limitations may apply.
Thanks for watching.